Hello, I'm Pastor Jerry Davis, and welcome to Power Surge Wednesday. Recently, I sat down with a group of men, and we began to discuss just how full our lives are. Some exclaimed that they had very little time for anything other than the regular old bump and grind. You know, the day-to-day drudgery of simply trying to make ends meet. You would be surprised to know just how many men and women go through life just trying to get through life. I don't believe that's what Jesus had intended for our lives at all. In fact, he said, "I come that you might have life, and that more abundantly." Now, unless abundance means overwhelming and unjoyous, we are doing something awfully wrong. Just then, one of the senior elders in the group, he shook his head and he said, "Rocks, pebbles, and sand." I said, "What?" He said, "Rocks, pebbles, and sand." He's asked us, he says, "What are you filling your lives with?" He politely went and got a chair and he sat down among us. He said, "Let me share a little story with you." He says, "A philosophy professor once stood up before his class with a large empty mayonnaise jar. He filled that jar to the top with large rocks. And he asked his students, he says, 'Is this jar full?' And the students all agreed, the jar is full. He then added small pebbles to the jar, and he gave the jar a little shake so that the pebbles could disperse themselves among the larger rocks. And he asked his class once again, he said, 'Is this jar full?' And the student said, 'This jar is full.' Then the professor then poured sand into the jar to fill up all the remaining empty space. The students then all agreed that the jar was full." The metaphor. In this story, the jar represents your life. The rocks, pebbles, and sand are things that fill up your life. The rocks represent the most important projects and the things you have going on, such as spending time with your family and maintaining proper health. This means that if the pebbles and the sand was lost, you would still have a meaningful life. See, pebbles represent the things in your life that matter, but that you could live without. The pebbles are certainly things that give your life meaning, such as your current job, your house, hobbies, and friendship, but they are not critical for you to have a meaningful life. These things often come and go, and they are not permanent or essential to your overall well-being. Finally, the sand represents the remaining filler things in your life and material possessions. This could be small things such as watching television, browsing through your favorite social media site, or running errands. These things don't mean so much to your life as a whole and are likely only done to waste time or get small tasks accomplished. Here's the moral of this story. The metaphor here is that if you start with putting sand into your jar, you will not have enough room for your rocks and your pebbles. This holds true with things you allow into your life. If you spend all of your time filling your life with the small and insignificant things, you'll run out of room for the things that are actually important. In order to have a more effective and efficient life, pay more attention to the rocks because they are critical to your long-term well-being. If I could add a bit of advice to this wealth of wisdom, it would be never major on minor things. Don't give too much of your time and your attention to the things that don't warrant it. Remember, your jar has a limited capacity. I'm Pastor Jerry Davis, and may God continually bless you.